All right, let's try this one more time. I got to wait for some people to come in to give me a sound check before I get started. I'm unsure of what is happening. That has happened about two times now in my last couple of live streams and echoing, sounding horrible. So we're going to try it again. Wait for some people to come into the room. Sorry about that, everybody, but that is out of my control. Not sure what was going on, but we're about to find out. I hope not. I hope it's just my I'm hoping it's just my laptop, but we'll see as soon as some people get in here so we can check it. Still no one in here yet to do that. I guess I'm gonna have to stick to over there on the 6 Inch channel. I'm gonna have to stick to uploading videos until I get about 1,000 users and all the prerequisites to be able to go live over there. But a lot of people don't do lives, but I love I love doing lives. It seems like uploading videos takes a little more work when I can just go spit my thing, spit my logic, and I'd be on my way. It's already up there. So, hmm, that is really, really weird. Really weird. Hmm. All right, just waiting for people to come in here. Trying to see what's going on. Am I on the? Oh, am I on? Wait a minute. I'm not on my mic. Just a second here. I am not. Whoop. Nope. I'm not even on my mic. Testing, testing. Yep, I'm on the. Oh man, this is just getting crazy. Getty microphone, mic. Yes, that's the one I want. Testing, 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 testing. All right, all right, all right. I need to get a mic check for some people before I get started. I still don't see anybody yet. Sorry, and I don't know if the StreamYard thing is late from posting people. Let me go over to my other computer and then I'll see if I can see you guys. 1 second here. Oh man, I hate it when that kind of stuff happens. Because it says I see 4 people, but I don't see anybody in the StreamYard app yet. So 1 second. So I'm gonna go to the actual live. All right, let me see. Do I see anybody in the chat? I don't see anybody in the chat either. So, that is really weird. Why is my stuff messing up here? Okay. Somebody type in the chat if you can hear me, because I can't tell if you guys can hear me or not. I need somebody to do a mic check for me. All right. Lori says it sounds good. Thank you very much, Lori. Much appreciated. Okay. So it must be because I was trying to get on the last couple, just within the last 10 minutes, and my mic was messing up really bad. And so I had to switch computers. So it obviously has something to do with my Mac. So it must be time to get a new Mac. That's what that means. Okay. All righty. Well, I guess we're going to get started through the title. True wealth is owning. Oh, no, let me introduce myself. Excuse me. Hello, everyone. My name is LJ, the founder of SMD, and I am here to share my gift. And my gift is that I understand that capitalism is psychological, split into 2 parts, positive and negative. This is a mathematical fact. This is not a theory. It's true, and I'm just sharing it with you. I'm not here to convince people of anything, right? I'm just here to share something with you, right? And so on the negative side are debt slaves, and debt slaves are people that believe they can own with absolutely no money of their own, right? People that believe they can buy houses with mortgages, buy cars with car loans, buy iPhone 15s with no money, save for retirement while having student loan debt older than the retirement plan itself. You know, people financing brand new iPhone 15s with Apple Afterpay. Those are called debt slaves. Absolutely debt slaves, right? Now, I was a debt slave for the great majority of the first half of my adult life, from age 18 to 43 or somewhere around there. I was the best kind, though. I was the best kind of debt slave. I was the college educated IT engineer, six-figure earned per year, but I was triple that in debt with a mortgage. That was me, right? My whole life, I was in the negative. Didn't even know it. I didn't even know I didn't own nothing. And listen, I was calling myself the middle class because I was making $160,000 a year, but triple that in debt. It is funny. It is funny to laugh about it now. But anyway, I was the best kind until I found Dave Ramsey, right? Dave Ramsey said, hey, take the calculator and his baby steps and get out of debt. Until I got to the part of Mr. Ramsey's plan where he says, well, when you pay off all your debt and get down to your mortgage, start putting away 15% into retirement. But as I was still using the calculator, I put in my mortgage payment minus my mortgage balance and hit equal. I saw I was still in a deep negative. I didn't have 15% of anything to put anywhere. So that's when I knew I was on to something, because after that point, I left Mr. Ramsey because that's part of his business plan. He's going to take you to one of his Vesta Pros, and they're going to break the laws of mathematics for you at a fee. Even though nobody in the history of the world has ever done it, but I guess his people are, I guess. But anyway, that's just business. Nothing's wrong with it. It's business, okay? That I'm not saying that to say anything negative, okay? I want to make sure that's clear. I consider Mr. Ramsey my mentor. I just think it's funny how business works. That's all. Whatever, right? So I left Mr. Ramsey's plan and started my own. Once I really understood that, I got to the once I paid off all my debt and I got to the positive side of the economy, I realized this was the first time I was here. I had never, ever been to zero in my life, ever, right? Until I got there and I was like, wait a minute, I have no more stress. Nope, don't worry. About 80% of my stress disappeared. When my debt disappeared, about 80% of my stress disappeared too. Everything, listen, once I got to the positive side, you know what I realized? Money is an illusion for debt slaves, because the money is them. It's them. They're the taxes, they're the housing market, they're everything. And this is what proves I own myself. Not only that proves I own myself, that I own a business of myself in the United States of America. You know what proves that? My credit report. My credit report shows I have no owners. Did you guys know that, debt slaves? Your credit report is an owner's ledger. It keeps track of all the businesses that own you. And the credit scores are reward points for staying in debt with the owners listed on your credit report. That's all that is. So my credit report proves that I own the business of myself. It's sort of like a business license. It's it makes my Social Security double as a personal EIN number for the United States of America. When I walk, if like say like I decide to go get a business loan, right? The first thing the bank is going to do is run my credit. Okay. And when they run my credit, guess what they're going to see? No debt at age 53. They're going to be like, what? We don't hardly see that. I know. I'm going to make sure they recognize that too. When I walk in, they run my credit, be like, wait a minute, you have no debt? No. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely not. What does that mean, bank? You own yourself? Who's been talking to you? I discovered this myself. Nobody told me nothing. But hey, listen, you know who really told me? You know who really gave me the answer? My 5th grade math teacher. You know why? She taught me about positive and negative numbers in class. I remember that. Zeros in the middle, Green numbers on the right mean positive, red numbers on the left mean negative. That's what she taught me. My grade school, that's why I still remember her name. Her name is Miss Klingensmith. Out of all teachers I've had in my life, she is the only person that I remember her name. She was clearly German because I remember her accent and everything. She always, you know what's so crazy? She always paid special attention to me for some odd reason. I used to always like, why does she keep hanging around my desk? Because she was an older lady, right? So when she spoke, she kind of spit a little bit as she's talking, right? She was older than back then, right? And I used to go, oh my goodness, she keeps spitting on my paper. And she keeps coming around me. But she already knew. She taught me. I just didn't use it as an adult. When I decided to get a car and say like the car was 40,000, all I had to do was look in my bank account and see if I had $40,000. If it's not there, that means I can't. According to the chart Miss Klingensmith taught me, she said it basically says if I didn't have $40,000 in my bank account, that means I can't buy the car. But guess what? The bank steps in and says, yes, you can. You can buy that car. But I have no money to buy it. That's all right. That's okay. Come here. Sign this paperwork, and now you do. But guess what? This is what you guys don't know. You sold yourself for a car. You just sold the next 84 months of the money that you haven't even earned yet, minus taxes. And you don't even realize that you actually financed the taxes of the car. Did you guys know that? When you guys finance a car, you're financing the taxes too? Did you guys know that? That's why you don't like taxes, because you're financing them. When you own the business of yourself, that's true wealth. You own the time in your life. The true wealth is the owning the time in your life. That's the ultimate goal, what you really want to do. I promise you that. Now, if you've been in, put it this way, if you've been in the 40-hour work week all your life, you don't realize that that's a program. Make you believe Saturday and Sundays are special. Just I went to public school too. Don't you guys realize public school mirrors working hours? Don't you guys realize that? Duh. None of this is hidden. When you're in public school, you think Saturday and Sunday are special in school because you don't have to go to school. You're like, ooh, oh, thank God it's Friday. And then you just carry that shit on into the working world. But guess what? Now you're working 7 days a week. That's a program. Now this is the lovely. This is the now the I don't have the. Never add your feelings to a program. Okay. I don't add my feelings to a program because you don't have to be part of the program. You can make a choice and not be part of it. Everybody, I believe everybody knows at least one person that is not part of the 40-hour work week program. Once you break the program, and I must warn you, okay, this is very crucial. Once you break the program, there's no going back, okay? Right now, I am moving at twice the speed of light. Do you guys understand me? I know for a fact that I know something billions of people don't know. Billions with a B, because capitalism's all over the world. If it has capitalism, that God obviously there must be some kind of credit system there. That's how it works. It might be named different. It doesn't matter what it's named. It's just understand that's how they keep track of you guys. I get it. That's why when you're born, you're given a number here in the United States of America. It says, "Here, you carry this for the rest of your life. Here you go." What do you guys think that means? What do you think that number means that you must carry for the rest of your life? As soon as you're born, you're basically stamped with it. People are like, "Hey man, I'm never gonna, tattoo nobody's name on me, and because things change." You could actually tattoo. Listen, you could actually tattoo your social security number on your body. It's safely because guess what? It's never going to change ever. Not saying. I'm just saying. Not saying that you would. I'm just saying. Your social security number is the EIN for the business of yourself. That's what that number is. That's the EIN for the business of yourself. Hey, you want to know how the business of yourself is doing? Log into your online credit report, go grab your total debt, put a write it write down your total debt on a piece of paper in red and then put a minus sign in front of it. That's how good your business of yourself is doing right there. I don't know if you're bankrupt or and you're probably thinking to yourself, "Well, I've been in debt all my life." I know. How have you been running the business of yourself? In debt. That's how you run in the business of yourself. You've been running it in debt. Now you can treat the business of yourself like a business. You can go down, go see a lawyer, wherever state you're going. Follow all the laws. I'm telling you, don't skip it. Go hire an attorney that is really good at bankruptcies. Okay, that follows all the laws and rules of federal, state, whatever. They're licensed. They're also following all the laws and the rules. And you say, "Hey, can I qualify for bankruptcy?" Debt slaves believe bankruptcy's for losers. Are you crazy? Why is it there? You think bankruptcy's there for losers? Bankruptcy is also there for people that wake up. They're like, "Whoa, wait a minute. I've been doing it all wrong." And then the United States says, "Okay, have you woken up? Yeah, okay. You can use bankruptcy chapter 7 and free yourself and come start doing things in our economy positively." True wealth is owning the business of yourself. I can prove I own the business of myself. I even made a video about it. My Credit Karma. I keep telling you guys this, and I keep showing you with mathematics. I have a gift, and I'm one of the rare. I'm not saying I'm the only person with a gift, but I'm one of the rare few people with a gift that can prove their gift. Do you guys understand me? I can mathematically prove my gift. I'm adding to Einstein quotes. You guys hear me? I'm adding to Einstein quotes. I said, "Hey, if I say it this way, it might sound more clear." Where'd that come from? I don't know. Don't know. I've never listen. I've never seen anybody in the history of the world add to an Einstein quote. Have you seen? I've never seen that, but I did it. You're probably thinking if you knew the change, you're probably like, which one? Compound interest being in the eighth wonder of the world. That famous quote by Einstein? I think it's he who under compound interest, he who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. So I can make that a little more clear. Compound interest is positive and negative. He who understands compound interest earns positive compound interest. He who doesn't pays negative compound interest. See how that goes? The same thing, but just a little more clear. Now, have you heard anybody in the world do that before? I haven't. And I'm not even bragging. I just haven't. You know, the average person will say, "Oh man, that's easy. That's just anybody could do that." I know everybody says that. This is a gift. Do you guys understand me? This is a gift. Here, let me give you another example of the gift, okay? I'm gonna give you I like to give examples. Okay. So you notice all the big companies, Apple, Walmart, Nike, Amazon. Have you guys noticed all the buy now, pay later companies that are attached to their nipples, sucking all their money out of their businesses? Not all of it, but sucking out some of the money out of the businesses. Have you guys noticed that? Buy now, pay later companies. They're making multi-millions of dollars, and these big companies got to give them part of the profits and a percentage of this and that. You think they want to give away their money? No, they have to give away their money, because if they didn't, they wouldn't make no money. You know, the only people that use buy now, pay later services? Debt slaves. And when you see that many buy now, pay later companies attached to all these businesses, you know what that means? That's debt slaves. They ain't got no money. They're breaking up t-shirts and shoes and 4 easy payments. People on the positive side do not use buy now, pay later companies. Do you understand me? People on the positive side say, I don't have the money for the shirt, so I'm not going to buy it. I don't have the money for the shoes, so I cannot buy it according to the laws of mathematics. That's what people on the positive side say. Excuse me. When you come to the positive side and you own yourself, your credit report proves it. Do you guys understand why I'm the only person on the internet, on any social media platform, that has ever shown their entire credit report on the internet? You think that's an accident? It's not. I'm just sharing my gift. That's all. You probably knew and say think you come to the channel, oh, he's sounding all cocky and this and no, I'm not. I'm just stating facts. Exactly, Nick. Nobody shows their entire credit reports. That's all you guys got to do. If you're listening, listen. If you're listening to people talk about finance, money, or on YouTube or whatever, just say, hey, can you show us your, hey, you know, LJ on Savings Minus Debt, he showed us his, now listen closely, okay? For anybody listening, LJ over on Savings Minus Debt, he made a video. He logged into his Credit Karma and he showed us his entire credit report and he showed us everything on it. Can you do that for us? You guys won't find it. They're going to say no. 99, listen, 99% of the people you guys follow for financial advice, they're going to say no. They're going to act insulted. Oh, how dare you? Oh my God, that's so personal. No, it's not. It's business. What are you talking about? There's nothing on my credit report. It's business. Those are zeros. Listen, and don't forget about my age. I'm 53. Don't run off and try to find an 18-year-old credit report. You got to find somebody's credit report that has been in the world already. You know how hard that's going to be for you to find a 53-year-old person's credit, let alone just to see the credit report. First, you got to find a 53-year-old person that will actually show you their credit report. And then you got to find somebody that has absolutely no debt on their credit report. Good luck. I'm moving at twice the speed of light right now. I remember being a debt slave. You hear these people. Sometimes when you're working and you're just doing life, and then you see somebody on TV and they sound like a genius. I get it now. I'm sure. Listen, I'm sure I sound crazy. I'm sure I sound like, who is he? But all I'm listen, and believe it or not, one day they're probably gonna call me a genius. I'm just telling you guys right now. All I'm doing is sharing what I see on the calculator. Okay, that's it. I'm not Mr. Fancy Pants, nothing. I'm just looking at the calculator and I'm telling you guys, that's it. I'm not doing anything fancy at all. But once you see me go around the world, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, he just knows everything. How does he even know?" I'm be just laughing. I'll be like, "Nothing. I don't know anything. I just open the calculator app on my phone. That's all I do. That's it. Nothing." "Oh no, man, it's got to be more than that." No, it's not. That's part of the program too. Making now. You know what's so funny? Now I think about it, as I'm going through school. They always try to make you feel like an idiot if you use the calculator. That was part of the program too, to make you feel like an idiot if you have to break out the calculator. Are you crazy? When I'm at dinner and I'm leaving a tip, I open my calculator up. I start running numbers. I'm not why waste my brain power on something I can use my phone? I can use the calculator app on my phone. Why waste brain power? I could be using that for something else. Your credit report proves if you understand what true wealth is. That's your credit report. You have to own yourself. You have to own yourself. Now, let me think back. If I was a debt slave and I came across a channel like mine, and this person said, I have to own myself. And I was in a mortgage for say like say like I was in a mortgage for I'm 14 years in the mortgage. And then I come across a channel like mine talking about I don't own anything. Equity is illusion. I can't buy a house with a mortgage. You know how many people out there, they don't even know what their mortgage balance is. There are people out there that don't even know how much debt they're in and don't care. If you're listening to this and you don't know how much debt you have and you could care less and you're one of those people, I'm gonna die with it and all this other stuff, guess what? You're gonna die a debt slave. Because that means you've trapped yourself. If you don't even care, you're too scared to look. Because there's millions of you guys out there that too you guys are too scared to even look to see how much debt you have. You guys know that's part of the program too, for you to be scared. I listen, I used to be like that when I was deep in debt. I didn't even want to know my student loan balance. I didn't even want to know. I remember, let me tell you something. Let me tell you what happened one time when I was a debt slave, right? I remember I had student loan debt for, who knows how many years at that point, right? And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Let me start paying extra. Let me this is so man, this is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant, really. It really is brilliant, okay? So I remember I was paying my student loans for years. I'm like, I'm getting tired of paying this. Let me throw an extra 100 on there just so I can get the balance down faster. Okay. So that's a natural process. Okay, the student loan payment is 400. I'll give 500. They'll take the 4, do what they're going to do, and put the 100 on the rest. Right? That's what you naturally think. Right? So as I'm doing this, I would get the next statement, and the next statement says, "Hey, since you paid extra, you don't have to pay until the following month," or something like that. Right? They kept pushing out the due date of the payment. So say like I paid it in January. I paid extra in January, and then come February, they'll say like, since you paid 100 extra, you only have to pay uh uh you know, 300. You know, if the bill was, put it this way, I last month I paid 500 when the monthly statement was 400, and then when the next statement come, they say, hey, since you paid an extra 100, you only have to pay 300 this month. And I was like, oh, that's a nice option, but I'm gonna keep on going. And then the following month it would say, hey, you don't have to pay this because you paid that, and this and that, and it would get less and less, and then it would get to the point that says you don't have to pay for the next 2-3 months. Well, after a year, because I was like just the average person, not opening up the statements, not even looking at them. And then after a year, I decided to go ahead and look at the statement. I noticed the balance hadn't changed, and I've been paying extra for a whole entire year. I was like, what the hell is going on? But when I saw the date getting pushed out, I was like, oh, I'm not going to say nothing because, something might come up, and I might be come up short on some money and to pay a bill. And if I don't have to pay my student loan debt, that would help me pay this bill that I might come up short on. That was part of the plan too. Because of course, when you're in debt, something's going to come up. You're in debt. Okay. It was just a matter of time of when that something's going to come up. Anyway, I checked the balance and it didn't move. So I called. I said, hey, what's going on with this balance? I've been paying extra for a whole year. How come it's not going down? They said, well, when you start paying extra, you got to call us and tell us that you want us to go to principal. If not, we put it towards interest. You guys hear what I said? In order for me to pay extra to pay my student loan debt down, I had to call them first to tell them that the extra money is going to go to principal. Do you hear me? Then I said, what happened to all that extra money that I put towards it? It's gone. Now that you told us, Mr. Young, so we'll apply it towards the principal. I wanted to cry. Now, when I say gone, they didn't take it, but you know what I'm saying. It didn't go towards my principal like I wanted it to go. I wanted to cry. I said, "How could that be legal? Doesn't matter. How many people don't even want to pay their student loan debt? How many people how many people you think are paying extra on their student loan debt? Not many. Ain't that crazy? That's bananas. You see how they do debt slaves? They do you guys so dirty. I was a debt slave once. But you know what I did to find true wealth? Got out of debt. And then I broke the 40-hour work week cycle, broke that. That's true wealth. Once you break, like put it this way, if you're a person right now and you're at work begging for overtime, begging. You're telling your employer that you'd rather be at work than be at home with your family. The majority of people, they'd rather be at work because it's so bad at home. But that's not the point. You're telling your employer that you'd rather be there than at home. You know what that tells your employer? You're in debt. You're working 40, 50 hours a week and you're paying a mortgage. Does that make sense? And you're begging your employer to be there even more at work, and you have a mortgage. Does that make sense? That doesn't make any sense. What you don't know is this: you're the best kind of debt slave there is. You don't own nothing because you have a mortgage, and you're paying on it, and you're not even living in it. And while you're working, you calling it yours, and you think you're a homeowner. You are the best kind of debt slave there is. You don't even know nothing. You're probably one of the people going around, "Hey man, stop throwing away money on rent. Stop and do what? Get a mortgage?" Listen, when people come up to you and say, "Hey, stop throwing away money on rent," you know what they're really saying to you? "Hey, don't do a 1-year lease, do a 30-year lease instead." That's what they're saying. Debt slaves don't know that they're saying that. Stop throwing away money on rent. Trade a 1-year lease for a 30-year lease? No, thank you. Are you crazy? It only takes 1 day to buy a house, not 30 years. That's a program. That's a program. Now, if you've been in your house for many years and you are one of the people that I'm talking about, listen, it's not just you. There are millions of people that have mortgages that work 40 plus hours a week. That doesn't make any sense at all. You will not listen. I'm sorry, I'm just moving this mic around. You will never know what true wealth is. Let me get back from this mic just a little bit. 1 second here. If that's you, you'll never experience what I'm telling you right now. That's a program. Now, when you're in it, like it's like somebody saying, "Hey, a clock is man-made." That is true. But you don't really understand that because the clock rules you. You got to know what time to get to work. You got to know what time to break time. You got to know what time to get off work, what time to be back, what time to get in bed, what time to do this. You need the clock. But once you break the cycle, you don't need it anymore. The only time I know what time it is if I have an appointment, and then my phone reminds me of what time it is, what time that appointment is, just before the time of the appointment. And then I look on the other tool called the calendar. Oh, it's on Wednesday at 2 o'clock. I just use those tools together, and then when the appointment's over, I don't need them anymore. What's up, Jacquees? Starts with owning yourself. Went through the same thing. You must tell them, or it goes to interest first. It sure does go to interest first. Ain't that bananas? Bananas. I was on the phone with the lady. I was like, "How can you guys do that?" Sorry, sir. I'm like, "Okay." But that's my fault. Listen, I deserve to be treated. If I went, listen closely. If I went to college for 4 years, and I kept my student loans for 10 years, I deserve to be treated the way I was treated. I deserve it. Why would I pay for school longer than actually going? You deserve that. That's what I deserved. That was nobody's fault. All I had to do was wake up and say, "Hey, wait a minute. Instead of getting this car, I should figure out why I've had my student loans longer than actually going to college." That's what I should do. You know how many people got the iPhone 15 with college debt? Those same people are still begging the president to forgive $20,000 in student loan debt. Those people with the iPhone 15s. If you listen, if you have if you have an iPhone 15 and you're able to check your student loan check your student loan balance from it, you're a debt slave, okay? Remember that. I'm gonna put that in the meme. If you could check your student loan balance from your iPhone 15, you're a debt slave. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Okay. Oh, they do you guys so dirty, man. Oh my God. That's horrible. It's your fault too. It's nobody else's fault but yours. Did it look like, hey, listen, did iPhone sales look like, I wish we could get the records of how many people got an iPhone 15 with Apple Afterpay. Oh my God. Oh, Apple, please share those numbers, Apple, please, pretty please. I would love to see how many people used Apple Afterpay to get an iPhone 15. Congratulations, Apple. When I heard you tell that story about the student loan debt, every time I pay extra on a mortgage, I make sure it's going to principal. Hey, you got to stay on it. You got to stay on it, Rainy Woman. You got to stay on them. It's business. Jacque says, had a drink with one of my buddies, and he told me that our college friend bought a house for $750,000. Now, bought means mortgage because he's talking about interest. So he didn't buy anything, okay, with the 7.7 interest rate, and he's planning on a wedding for next summer. I mean, deep. $750,000 with student loan debt. You know, the banks, listen, you guys have no idea how happy the banks are when people come in doing that kind of shit. If you got a good job, you making 6 figures, and you got student loan debt to match it, and you're asking for a $750,000 house, thank you. Listen, if I was the bank and you could make the payments, I would approve you so fast. That is wild. Oh, that's so crazy. And then they got to furnish the finance house. You don't have the money to buy it, and then you got to furnish it. You know what that means? They're financing the furniture in the house too because they didn't have the money to buy the house. Do you understand how deep debt slaves go? They go deep. Not gonna lie, I'm confident I'm less than a year being debt free. Congratulations. Not gonna lie, I'm confident. Good. Hey, listen, this is what I'm. One second, I got to get a drink of water. Now, let me tell you something, One Dark Night. This is something that you're going to have to grow into, okay? Because you're coming out of the debt matrix, right? Right now, you're probably hesitant. Oh, people are going to be like, oh, man, who do you think you are? Where are you talking like that? And blah, blah, blah. You're going to notice those are debt slaves, okay? It takes a while to get where I'm at. You know me. I don't care what debt slaves think, say, I don't care. I'm barely listening to them. I don't care what they say. They're part of the program. I need debt slaves. You guys, this is what I want SMD family to understand. None of this works without debt slaves. They're the majority. Okay? Debt slaves are the majority. And it will always be that way. That's in every capitalist system. They are the majority. We need them. Well, we need both. Okay? It needs balance, but they're the majority. I know it sounds weird, but it is balanced with them being the majority. Okay? It is what it is. He's a product manager making 70,000. That's gross. Remember, that's gross. And top it off, he financed a shiny red Ford F-150. So let's add it up here. $750,000 house, brand new truck, about to finance a wedding, and then he's got to furnish the house. And guess where all those pictures are going? Facebook, people, Instagram. Hey, look, everybody, we're rich. We're middle class. Look at our house. The whole time they have nothing. Debt slaves don't even own themselves at all. Doomed. Hey, listen, he's in the debt matrix. That's the S&D family. This is why I want you guys to understand something. Okay, this is true. The hard part is going to be when you see your loved ones being debt slaves and you can't do nothing about it. You can't do nothing about it. You can't tell them nothing because you're going to lose them. That's going to be the hard part. Seeing your loved ones in debt, talking just like slave jibber jabber, debt slave jibber jabber. Talk about owning stuff, and you know the best part, the best ones when I hear people talking about, oh yeah, I'm about to buy some property in Mexico. No, you're not. You don't even own your house here, and you talk about buying a house in Mexico. Are you crazy? Different countries are getting in on the game. You have somebody come up to you talking about, oh man, it's so cheap to live in Mexico, man. You know how much I can buy a house down there for like 20,000, and it's the size of a mansion. You turn to them and say, do you have a mortgage? And they say yes. You're going to be like, what are you talking about then? What, you don't have 20,000. You don't even own your house here. It doesn't matter what a house costs in Mexico if you have a mortgage here. You can't listen. You can't say that out loud though. I'm just telling what you're gonna say in your brain, in your mind. Okay, you're gonna lose your friends. My buddy who financed his condo is for 470,000, about 7%. Oh, 7% is trying to convince us that he got a better deal comparing. Listen, Jacquees, comparing mortgages. That's no different than when debt slaves compare buying versus leasing. They're both. Hey, listen, the banks do not care what debt slaves do about their loans. If they want to compare their loans, great, go ahead, whatever. As long as you make the payments. What's up, James Maggs, sir? How you been doing? Long time no see. Wow. Bro, one friend got mad at me for saying I don't want to be in debt unless it's only for business. Of course, listen, one dark night, you're becoming debt free. You're just ahead of the game mentally, okay? You're in the phase right now, Dark Knight. Your physical is catching up with your mental. You're already here mentally, okay? Right now, you're doing like everybody else that's new, trying to tell your friends and say certain things. You're gonna be like, "Hey, dude, why are you getting mad at me? I'm just showing you the calculator." Because you're going against the program one dark night. That's called pulling down your mask in public. You do not do that. Hey, but it is what it is. Everybody does it. All the new SMD family members that get debt free, they want to tell. I did it too. I want to tell all my friends, hey man, check this out. And then they got mad at me, but I didn't have nobody to go to or no group to go to, so I had to create SMD. Right. I mean, I don't discuss financials with family. Don't. If they spark up a financial conversation, guess what you got to do? Walk out the room. It's sobering because I always thought these guys were further than me in life. Meanwhile, their lives are fine. And that's what I love about this information for the younger people in their 30s, 20s, 30s, even 40s. You guys are seeing it. You guys are seeing it for what it is, just like the movie, just like the Matrix movie in 1999. Okay. It's the same thing. That movie was wrote by somebody that knows. Okay. That's a fact. Now you can see right through people that are pretending. They look like they have money. They always have jewelry on or whatever. And then you find out they have a mortgage or making car payments. You know it's all a facade. What's up, Nove Zero? What's going on? Long time no see. I've been getting caught up on your journey the last few weeks. That is incredible, LJ. So happy to hear you got out of there. Thank you, thank you. I hope you subscribe to the new channel, the 6 Cents channel. If you guys haven't heard about it, I just uploaded the first like intro video there, but I'm gonna be uploading some really good stories, my experiences, what happened during that time, what she did, how she was, or just a lot of, and it's mostly just not, it's just not just her. It's like narcissists in general. But since I was in a relationship with one, it's gonna blow your mind. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. Glad I gave my car back to the bank and broke even because those five oh yeah, $500 to $1,000 car payments I hear the average person mentioned would crush my future plans. Yes. Like, listen, this is so crazy. Now that I'm out of that area, like when you look at the debt to income ratio, right? The DTR, the bank came up with a formula to tell debt slaves about their money. Hey, you got to have a 50% ratio. You can't be over 50% of your money going out to get this house. They got to tell them that. So they go to buy this DTI that the bank created. They don't even know about their own money. They need some formula created by them. It is bananas, man. If you're in your 50s, it's not too late. I got out at 52. It's not too late. It's never too late. Never too late. Never. Have you ever been roommates with a debt slave? No. You know what? Luckily, I broke the roommate thing really early because I remember when I was 18 or 19, I got a job. Me and my high school buddy got a job together got a job at the same location, right? Let me put this down 1 second here. We got a job at the same location and we decided to get an apartment together. And that was a really bad experience because he was not a very clean person. Not very responsible, coming up short on light bills and power bill. Just hey man, I'm coming up short. Can you come? I was like, oh, you know what? I better figure out how to live on my own for the rest of my life. So at that age, from that age on, I never had a roommate ever. I've always lived by myself or with a woman, So, but I've always lived on my own, so never roommate. So I just, you know what? I can't really do the roommate thing because I don't know, man. I just like my own space. I cannot do the roommate. And some people are comfortable with that. Some people will have a house and they will rent a room out to a stranger in their house where they share the same kitchen and bathroom. I just couldn't do that, man. I just can't. Unless I was forced to do that. Okay, let's put it that way. I could if I was forced, but if I that's not an option, if that doesn't have to be one of my options, I won't do it. Okay. Young cats, if you can avoid it, avoid roommates, especially if you're a clean individual. Especially, hey, listen, Omanike, especially if you're a clean individual. I agree with Jacquees. I'm a clean person. And let me tell you something. Let me t- you got to go to my Sixth Sense channel. Let me tell you something. My ex narcissist, she was dirty. She was not clean. She was not clean, not clean. I remember here, let me give you a story. I remember, and I kid you not, I remember when I first time flying in to meet her, I got her car. Her car was so disgusting. I thought to myself, if I knew company was coming to see me, and I was picking them up in my car would be clean. My car is always clean anyway. I don't let my car get dirty. I don't have trash bags and all the stuff all over the floor. You can't even see the floor. My shit is vacuumed, wiped, clean. It smells good, blah, blah, blah. Her car was so disgusting. It was disgusting. I thought to myself, those are signs too. I want you guys to understand about not necessarily narcissistic people, but that's a sign. Okay. If you see you get in somebody's car and it is dirty, so you should automatically know how their house is probably going to look too. You're probably going to know how their house is looking. She was dirty, man. I did so much work to keep that house clean. Oh my God. Wait till you guys hear these stories on my new channel. Okay. And the only reason why I could tell these stories because I'm not that person anymore. If you guys go watch all my old my videos with the white door background, that's when all those videos was when I was living in a narcissistic fog hell. You just couldn't tell because that was my only outlet. Okay. So check out my new channel, Sixth Sense. All right. Renting a room from my debt slave alcoholic friend who's a nightmare to deal with because he never shuts up. See? I couldn't do it. Ooh, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. But you got to use that to drive you. Facts. I'm OCD when it comes to my exactly, Nick. You got hey, I couldn't do it. I'm not listen, I'm not teaching a grown-up how to clean. I'm not doing that. I am just not doing that. And listen, and everything when it comes to a narcissist, anything that goes wrong, it's always somebody else's fault. Somebody else did it. Somebody did this. My mama didn't do that. My daddy didn't show me this. They never take accountability for nothing. For nobody taught you how to clean up. How about you just learn how to do it by yourself? Because that could be a fact. There's parents out here that don't teach their kids how to clean up. But that's no excuse. I guess you got to learn how to clean up. LJ pet owners, especially the ones I dated, were nasty. Yep, letting the dogs and cats outside, then jumping jump in the bed under the covers. Oh, I know. Isn't that crazy? Just go outside with fleas and everything, and then jump in the bed under the covers. Now, we didn't have that. Okay. It wasn't that bad. But when I think back, like I said, the channel, you guys got to understand the psychological effects of a narcissistic relationship. Okay. If you've never experienced it, first of all, I don't wish it on my worst enemy. I don't. That was absolutely horrible. But it made me who I am today. I'm a totally different person. I consider that relationship a blessing, honestly. I do. Because I grew from it. Without without that experience of that relationship, the channel of Sixth Sense wouldn't have been born because I would have never known narcissistic people existed. Because when you grow up and you don't know and you hear about narcissistic people, you just think, oh, that's people that they always look in the mirror and they always care about themselves and nobody. That's partly true, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I experienced, listen, what I experienced, this is not taught in school. It reminds me, it reminds me of SMD. SMD is not taught in school because it can't. You guys understand me? It cannot, at least in public school. Because there got to be people on the positive side, okay? Not public school. Let's put it that way. Not in public school. Because that program's amazing. When I think, listen, now that I'm out and I think about my experience in the public school system, I'm like, damn. Every now and then, I would now remember the majority of people in public schools are debt slaves. You guys got to remember that. Those are debt slaves. The majority of them are debt slaves, okay? You're going through school. I'm going through I'm going through public school, getting all this history and knowledge. We got to know all these people and things and presidents and what they did and how we got this land and all this other stuff. And meanwhile, Monday through Friday, weekends off, all holidays off, going right along with the program, just going right along. I don't know. It's just funny to think about. I'm outside of it now. As I'm thinking about it, yep, that's exactly what it does. Goes right along with the program. You're learning all this stuff. And I used to say when I was in school, I feel like I'm just being forced to remember shit. Yes, I was for sure. Remember history for some odd reason. Things that have already passed. Yeah. Why? I don't know. That's just the way it is. And then not only in school, listen, not only in school, they give you homework. They made you bring the shit home. That's just bananas. I don't have to bring any of that stuff home. Why? That's just the way it is. And then remember, the whole time I'm a debt slave. So the whole time you're thinking that they're teaching you, they're saying, hey, if you don't go to college, you ain't gonna be shit. Hey, look, people that go to college, they earn 40% more, blah, 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 blah. And you just believe it. And then by the time college comes, guess what you're gonna get? Student loans because you ain't got no money. 9 times out of 10, you were born in debt. Of course, you're not going to have the college money because your parents have student loan debt. They're in debt when they had you. And then by the time you're ready to go to college, guess what? They still have their student loan debt. What do you think you're about to do? You're about to do the same thing because they're telling you that's all they know. That's part of the program. Why do you think they invented Parent Plus loans? Those for the parents that got student loan debt, never paid off their student loan debt, and feel bad that they didn't have any college money for their kids. So they're like, "Oh, I'm never going to pay off my debt anyway. I might as well get a Parent Plus loan. They're not going to get it till I'm dead anyway. They're not going to get any money. I'm gonna just die." That's You're in the program. That's why they invented Parent Plus loans for parents that totally have given up on paying off their own student loans and still want to help their kid, so they get a Parent Plus loan. Sometimes, you know what's so funny? Now I think I gotta read. I'm gonna read the details of the Parent Plus loan because I just thought of something as I'm talking this out, right? What if a parent that has had student loan debt all their life, they don't plan on paying it off, and they just say, you know what, I'm just gonna get a Parent Plus loan, pay for my college, pay for my kids' college with it, and I'll be dead, and the loans will die with me. I don't know if I'm gonna find out if Parent Plus loans die with the person like personal student loans. I don't know if because that would be easy to do. I'm gonna pay for my kids' college. I'll get the Parent Plus loan. I'm not gonna live long enough to pay it off anyway, and the debt will die with me. I gotta look that up. Let's see here. What's up, Layman? What's going on, sir? Yeah, I don't. My sister has a dog. I don't do pets personally. Not that I'm against pets, but this is the this is the overview that you will have. Well, I know the regular student loans do, Omanike. I'm just talking about the Parent Plus loans. Do they die with the parent too? I don't know. I'm just curious. I am here. Listen, if you, especially if you're young, let me put it this way: if you're young and you're in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s, that's still young. Okay, don't let the world think because you're in your 30s and your 40s you're old. If you once you get out of debt, once you get out of debt, your whole world is going to change. Thank God. Listen, put it this way, you guys. Thank God I was debt free when I had this narcissistic relationship problem. Thank God I was debt free because I could only imagine if I had if we had jobs and we were in debt and we had children together and and we had a house together, that would be absolutely horrible to have my whole entire I had a business with this person. Thank God that was the only thing that we had together. And in order for me to dismantle that, I had to do it. Thank God she is not part of any of my business. Or oh my goodness, that was. Let me tell you something. I feel for people that are in relationships with people with narcissistic people. I feel for you. There is a way out, and I promise you, if you follow my channel, the Sixth Sense channel, I will help you out the same way I help people out of debt on this channel. I will have a different perspective than the majority of narcissistic channels that are spoken right now on the internet. The same different perspective that I have on the economy right now, on capitalism. And that's a fact. This is a mathematical fact. Once you understand SMD, your confidence will go through the roof. I want you guys to, and just like a Dark Knight was saying, his confidence level is going up. Your confidence level goes through the roof. Let me tell you something. When you come to the other side over here on Sixth Sense channel, it's going to double that. Your confidence is going to move at the twice the speed of light. You see that picture in the center of your screen? That's what I feel like inside my body. That's what it feels like. You know how powerful that is to know, walk around here and know I'm right because math says I'm right? And anybody, listen, and anybody that disagrees with me, they're disagreeing with math. They automatically lose. Confidence is through the roof. I'm never wrong, ever. Math is never wrong. And listen, if you really think about it, and who can create something that's never wrong? God. Exactly, Nick. Confidence on 9,000. Sometimes I got to check myself. I got to be careful when I'm out in public and I hear somebody talking finances. And if they're talking too crazy, I got to walk away. I can't be around that. I can't even listen to it. I can barely watch any YouTube channels on finance on YouTube channels. Do you guys understand me? Caleb Hammer is almost at 1 million followers, and he's a debt slave. You guys hear me? Anything is possible. I was following his channel when he first started. I was just laughing. I was just laughing along, ha ha. And then all of a sudden he says, "Hey, I got student loan debt." Unsubscribed. I'm not listening to a debt slave makes fun of other debt slaves. I'm not. That's not funny. What's so funny about that? I don't even get it. Oh my God, you're doing something wrong. So are you, Caleb. You got student loan debt and you think you're buying houses. You can't do that. You can't buy houses with student loan debt, people. And he's almost got 1 million followers, and everybody think it's funny. I don't get it. I don't get the joke. I don't get it. If you go to his videos like, "Hey, why should I do this? And it got a better interest rate and this and that." You're talking like a debt slave, Caleb. What are you talking about? Interest rate ain't got nothing to do with it. What are you talking about? Debt slave, slave splaining? But you think they're going to listen to me? No, I got barely 5,000 people. Barely 5,000, just under like 4,500 subscribers. He got almost 1 million. Why are they going to listen to me? Because he's a debt slave. The people that follow, I want you guys to understand what the equivalence is, okay? From my subscribers to his. My subscribers, yeah, you see the numbers, 4,500, but in reality, it's probably 450,000. That's the value difference. SMD is not here to entertain you. I'm here to help you own yourself. Don't you want your credit? Don't you want your credit report to look like mine? No owners. I don't care about the credit score. I care about being owned. Credit scores are reward points for staying in debt with the owners listed on your credit report. So why are you proud about that? Because you're a debt slave. I just want that situation. I was just in that situation earlier, almost put my mask off. Yep, almost. Well, that's part of the program, Nick. We know that. That's part of the program. We know. Now, you guys got to, and I want people to listen. I understand. Listen, we need Caleb's. Okay. I'm not saying anything negative about Caleb. I'm just letting you guys know what is. He is a debt slave entertaining other debt slaves, and he's very good at what he's doing. That's it. It's not illegal. It's nothing wrong with it. I just choose not to do that. That's just not my type of entertainment. That's cool. Hey, congratulations. But hey, you got to keep tip tapping and dancing for a long time because debt slaves get bored easily. And if you're entertaining them, he's got to come up with new gimmicks. He got to come up with new backgrounds and new funny ways to make things funny. Because after a while, they're going to get tired of him interviewing, saying, write down it because they get easily bored. So he's got to come up with some new gimmicks. I'm not. I haven't. SMD hasn't entertained you since the beginning, so I don't have to come up with new stuff. Math is the same, and it will be the same way after all of us listening to this broadcast are dead. 1 + 1 will equal 2. Debt slaves think they can pass off financed homes to relatives, which is fucking hilarious. Not even 20% on paying the principal and already setting lofty. You know what's so crazy about that, Jacquees? It's like this. They always say stuff like this. Hey, don't you want to leave your kids something? Yeah, if you can buy it. You have to buy before you can leave your kids something. You have to buy it first. You can you think you think the bank is just going to pass a house down to your child because it's your child? They don't know your child. They're not going to know about your child until you tell them, "Hey, I want to give this house to my child." They're going to be like, "Can he qualify this?" Then no. Exactly, Nick. He's gonna. They got it when you're entertaining debt slaves like that. They get easily bored. He just came on the scene doing something different, talking about debt slaves a different way and this and that, I guarantee you this: the majority of his subscribers are probably debt slaves. But guarantee it. They're laughing at how Caleb's doing them, and it's them. They're in the same situation. It's crazy. True wealth is owning the business of yourself. Your social security number is your personal EIN number for the business of yourself. Your total debt on your credit report says it tells you how the finances of your business are doing. And if you've been in a negative all your life, the business of yourself has been in negative all your life. So every time you go and get a loan or finance a car or get a credit card, they're going to run your credit report and see how deep you are. That's all they're looking for, to see how deep you are in debt. Because if you're in debt and you're coming in to the bank and asking for, they're just looking to see how much more debt you can handle before you can't. If you're coming to the bank with 20-year-old student loan debt looking for a mortgage, you're a debt slave and they're going to treat you as such. If you haven't paid your house off in 10 years, you think you're going to pay off a house in 30? They already know you're not. You're the only one that doesn't know that you're not going to pay off your house in 30 years. Put it this way, people. The fact that you believe, okay? And this is the problem this is the problem that's for you living on the negative side of the economy. The very fact that you believe it takes 30 years to pay off one house when it really only takes 1 day, that should tell you that's a program that I don't know why that would not. You're like, you should say like you're 30 years old, right? And you're about to finance a house for 30 years. You don't stop and say, hey, wait a minute, I'm not gonna pay this house off until I'm 60. Am I gonna be working at this job until I'm 60? You mean I'm promising the next 30 years of money, listen closely. I'm promising the next 30 years of money that I haven't even made yet for this house to the bank. 30 years. You don't even know if you're gonna be at the same job for 30 years. Well, you don't even know that. The fact that you believe you can see that far in the future, they're gonna treat you like that. That's called business. There's millions of you guys that believe that. Millions. And all of you, 99% of you guys think you own the house that you live in. You guys don't own nothing, not even yourself. All of those real estate gurus are full of themselves too, talking about if you buy an X amount of rentals, those tenants will make you rich, blah blah. That's all business. Now you got to remember, Jacquees. Now you have to, if you want to get into the business, let's think about it. If you get into real estate, but you understand S&D knowledge, you have to understand that you have to sell debt slaves houses with mortgages. There is no other way. You would not make any money if you said, hey, I'm not going to sell nobody a house unless they pay cash. You're not going to be in business long. So the people that have S&D knowledge, I would love how, and you're in real estate, I would love to know how you guys separate the two. When you guys go to sell somebody a house and they're so happy and they think they got a great percentage rate and deal and all this other stuff, how do you separate yourself from knowing that none of that is true? So do you pretend to be happy with them, or how do you do that? Because you have to do that if you want to make money. You guys got to understand, the banks understand that every single debt slave has to come to them to get permission to buy a house. Nothing happens without the bank. Nothing. The housing market wouldn't exist without mortgages, you guys. Okay? You know how long it must have taken for those people to believe that they're a homeowner for over 30 years? A debt slave will believe they're a homeowner for years while making mortgage payments. Listen, while making mortgage payments to the owner. Isn't isn't that beautiful? That's why I'm saying, if you want to be wealthy, especially you young people, if you want to be wealthy and you want to live definitely different than me, you want to live through life with no stress, you're going to look younger. They're going to wonder what you're doing. Hey, start taking care of yourself. Like, listen, start taking care of yourself. And on top of that, no stress. You're going to be looking young, looking good, feeling good. Everybody's going to wonder why you're always so happy and joyful, because you ain't got no debt. There's no stress. Hey, everybody else goes great pretty quickly, but you don't. You know why? Because you have no stress. To me, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. I'm no doctor, but I wonder if cortisol has something to do with premature and gray. I wonder if that's true. I just thought of that. I just thought of that. I'm serious too. If you want to be wealthy, come see me. If you want to understand what I'm talking about, come see me. SavingsMinusDebt@gmail.com. Email me. I can give you the blueprint. No tricks. I'll show you on the calculator the whole way. And it's up to you. You can stop at any time and say, I don't believe the calculator, and then our session's over. We just stop. I don't believe those numbers on the calculator. I say, okay, well, there's nothing else I can do. And then we'll leave. We'll part ways. Debt slaves that post the bank's house on socials for the world to see blow my mind as well. Because you're seeing something that is psychological, Jacquees. Everything you're saying and doing It's psychological. They don't know. Remember, debt slaves don't know that they're debt slaves. So there is no way they're going to know that they don't own a house. There is no way, especially they don't even know they don't own themselves. All currency in every listen, here's another one, Jacque, so you can understand. You see how debt slaves are tripping about money going digital? They don't know money's been digital their whole entire life. It doesn't matter the form of it. It doesn't matter. Paper, digital, gold, silver, no currency in any form exists for debt slaves at all. Good luck on telling them that, though. That's called pulling down your mask in public. I remember when I first saw this channel, I was somewhat skeptical when I started hearing debt slaves speak. Then I thought, oh my God, he's right. Yep, he's right. And as you know, Jacquees, I'm not even saying nothing fancy. I'm just saying, hey, look at the calculator. That's it. When I remember I started looking at uh, uh, Einstein's E equals mc squared, I said to myself, I think I know what that means. I think I know what he's trying to say with that equation, because think about it. This is what when I saw the equation E equals mc squared, as soon as I saw the equal sign, I said to myself, whatever he's saying in there is a mathematical fact because he's got an equal sign in it. Listen, math is never wrong. So if he has an equal sign in it, that means that statement is absolutely true. Because math is never wrong. I have my own view on what it means. It means the answer to soul. That's what it means. But I talk about that on my Sixth Sense channel. I don't talk about that on this channel because that's way Sixth Sense is going to be, man, you guys don't even understand. I know people when they hear me say stuff like that, oh, he think he can solve Einstein quotations or Einstein. Yeah, I can. I can. People with a few decades on me believing that they're homeowners with mortgages older than their kids. Yeah, excuse the language, but you know what's so crazy? I got another S&D family member. He's young, 27, right? Same thing. They think, and this has got to be lovely for the younger adults with S&D knowledge. This is the advantage you guys have. They think, the majority of people think, because they're older than you, they know more than you about financials just because they've been here longer, and that's not even the case. So you guys have the advantage of youth because they believe you have to be here for a while to understand how it works, and you don't. Only thing you have to understand is mathematics. That's it. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. Be looking out for another video on the Sixth Sense channel if you haven't signed up. It's on YouTube. The number 6 IXTHCENTS. It's in the details of this video. Click on the link, go over there, and what that channel is going to be about, I'll give you guys a heads up. It's based on me being in a 6-year relationship with a malignant covert narcissist, which is one of the worst type of narcissists to be in a relationship with. Physically, mentally, emotionally abusive, serial cheater, pathological liar, all of that. All of that. And what happened while I was in it, and how I left her. And what happened after I left her. Everything. So check out that channel when you guys get a chance. I plan on that channel is going to blow up because it's going to connect with millions of people. Listen, there are millions of people in narcissistic relationships right now. And you know what? This is what happened. And I'm gonna leave it. Okay. This is what happens when you're in a relationship with a narcissistic person. You build what's called a trauma bond. And you probably, and if you're in it, I'm gonna give you an idea of what a trauma bond is. If you're in a relationship with a person and they've cheated on you before and you stayed with them, you are in a trauma bonded relationship right there. You know why? Because you're staying with a person that knowingly went out into the world and could have possibly contract a sexually transmitted disease that can take you away from earth and your family and kids and everybody you love because of their selfishness. And you stay with a person that risk your life, that means you're in a trauma bonded relationship. That's what that means. If you're in a relationship with somebody that's physically abusive to you, that physical abuse is against the law. And you got somebody doing that to you and they don't care that it's against the law and they're physically abusing you, that's a narcissist. You're in trauma bonded relationship. Like physical abuse, a person that believes they can physically abuse you and think it's normal, that's immediately a narcissist. Immediately. I dealt with that for 6 years. 6 years. Now I'm me. That's the old me. That was my cocoon. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you everybody for joining. Appreciate everybody. Until next time, have a good one.